Let's take a look at knit fabric and how yarns are made into knit fabrics. As we've been taking a look at this week, the basic flow for fabric construction is that the fibers are created into yarns, and then the yarns are thus woven or knit into fabrics. This slideshow will focus on knits. Knit fabrics are fashioned by needles into a series of interlocking loops to make a fabric. Knits provide stretch. Knits do not require any kind of seam or edge finish when making garments because they will not fray like woven fabrics can. A ballpoint needle is recommended for sewing on knits. When you purchase them at the store, they might be called stretch knit needles or ballpoint needles. Both are correct for knit fabrics. Single knit fabrics curl to the right side when you cut them and when they are stretched. So if it's hard to tell the difference between what is the right or wrong side on a single knit, you can tell that the direction that the fabric wants to curl up is the right side. An interlock knit is thicker than single knits, and when stretched, they will not curl. An interlock knit sometimes is referred to as a double lock knit, so that both the front and the back side of the fabric look the same and are interchangeable. A little comparison of knits to woven fabrics. Knit fabrics have very good wrinkle recovery, where woven fabrics do show wrinkles a lot. Knit fabrics are stretchy. They move easily with the body, air and moisture permeable, and have a little bit of loft or bulk to them. Woven fabrics are less stretchy, less water and air permeable, and the bulk will vary with the weave and the size of yarns. Knit fabrics tend to be porous, less opaque. Knit fabrics are less stable with a little bit higher shrinkage percentages. Being that they're less stable, they're not the best thing to learn how to sew on. As you begin sewing, wovens are the best. Then for challenges, move on to the knit fabrics. Knit fabrics can be sheer to heavy weight. They can be very plain and they can be very fancy with or without fancy yarns as well. And shaping is possible with knits. Knits quickly adapt to meet fashion needs. They are less expensive to process but use more expensive yarns. Thus, they have a fast turnaround time. Interconnected loops with one or more yarn sets. Raveling is possible only with a filling knit. They may snag and run, they may be off grain, and they're usually heavier weight. Knits can be used in apparel, interior, and technical products. All right, take a look at the learning activity on page 169. It'll refer to your swatch kit, swatches number 35 and 86. Look at trying to unravel those fabrics. Can you tell how many yarn sets were used in each fabric? What is the direction of each yarn set in each fabric? Is one fabric a knit and one a woven? Which one is it? Here's an up-close example of how knits are constructed. One side of a knit is called a knit stitch, and the column of knit stitches is referred to as wales. You'll see the little red V depicted in the photograph down on the far right. That is the front side of a knit stitch, called the knit stitch, and those columns there are the wales. The back side of the knit stitch is called a purl stitch, and the rows of purl stitches is referred to as courses, and that's what you see in the gray picture there at the bottom. That is the back side, called the purl stitch. So the course is a row of horizontal stitches, and a wale is the vertical column of stitches. We have two different ways knit fabrics are knitted. The filling or weft knit yarns move horizontally, and this is very similar to hand knitting. So if you've ever done hand knitting, this is what the machine is doing. And these types of fabrics are called single filling knits, plain jerseys, jacquard jerseys, pile jerseys, weft insertion jerseys, garment shaping, and double knits. With these kind of knitting machines, you can actually knit a garment to shape. Go ahead and when you do your reading in your book, each of these fabrics will have photographs to give you an indication of what they look like and further explanation of them, as well as your swatch kit will have examples. Now, a warp knit, the yarns move vertically, meaning that they are knitted from top to bottom. There's not as many type of knits in this category. Tricot knits and Rochelle knits are two types. And as you can see in the comparison of the pictures down there, the direction is very different. The weft or filling knit can come unraveled only in a horizontal direction. But if you have it cut in the vertical length, it won't unravel down that edge. Here's a picture of a flatbed knitting machine. This machine will carry the yarn back and forth, and it will create a flat fabric. And flatbed knitting machines have various widths, typically 50 inches, 72 inches, 84, and 96 are some other options. The number of yarns feeding into a flatbed is limited. Another type of knitting machine is a circular knitting machine, and it carries the yarn in a spiral. It's much like the threads or the grooves in a screw and creates a circular or tubular fabric. There are various sizes of circular knitting machines that are available depending on the diameter of the knit desired. Possibilities include baby sock size to extra large t-shirt size, and then there's some others if needed to be larger. You'll take a look on page 175 in your textbook and look at Learning Activity 5. It'll ask you to examine some of the knit products you're wearing today. What kinds of knit stitches were used to create the fabrics you're wearing? Is there a pattern in the fabric? How many repeats occur across or along the fabric? Is more than one color or type of yarn used? How does fabric structure affect your satisfaction with this product? In Learning Activity number 6 on page 178, as you look at fabric swatches in your swatch kit number 75 through number 81, to determine the different stitch types and structure of each fabric. Can you name each fabric? You could take a look at figure 7.5 on page 170 for some assistance in that. What features helped you name the fabrics? Are you wearing any fabrics like these? If so, in what kind of products is the fabric used? Another learning activity, you should pause this video in between each one of these and go take a look at them. You'll having some hands-on touch and feel and things will really help concrete these in your memory. Activity number 4 on page 172 has you examine knit products you're wearing today, including socks, tights, and hosiery. What items were made as a flat knit and which items as a circular knit or a tube knit? How can you tell what type of machine was used? What are the advantages of each type, the flat knit compared to a circular knit? You can ponder that on your own. And that was the last of my learning activities. There we go. This is the end of our knit section. Be sure to read this chapter in the book. And that's Textiles Basics by Sarah J. Kadoff. Thank you for tuning in, and good luck.